A glass house in the Philippines, was it worth it or not? Today we're gonna find out. We've been living in this house for a little over 2 years now, and it's time to give a review if it was actually a good idea to have a glass house dito sa mainit na Pilipinas. And of course, joining me here is my lovely wife, kasi syempre hindi lang naman ako ang tumitira dito sa bahay. And actually guys, siya yung may idea na mag-glass house kami. I actually wanted a cabin type house and she wanted glass.
So it's actually my idea. Pat on the back to me.
Itong buong SKYPOD sa kanya na. Okay, bye guys.
Okay, so welcome back to my channel.
But yeah, so I wanted a cabin house. She wanted a house na glass. So this is why combine yung SKYPOD into what it is today.
More modern cabin.
Yes. So love, why did you want a glass house in the first place?
Because I find that your environment, or the way you feel, is dictated a lot by your environment. And I wanted a lot of light into our environment because I knew that I would be spending so much time here. I'd be working here, cooking here, playing with our baby here. So I wanted it to be as bright as I possibly could. Natural light to me is so healing, and so I really wanted a lot of natural light everywhere, not just in the living area, but also in the bedrooms and all the rooms in our house.
Wait, natural light everywhere is for those moods or para lang makapag-Instagram ka na maayos?
Siyempre yung Instagram plus points na rin yun, di ba? That's a bonus already.
So, was it everything you thought it would be? Kasi ako, from my perspective, I had a hard time wrapping around the idea of a glass house, and I was always calculating, how are we gonna make it work? How are we gonna make it work? So, meron bang mga compromises na nangyari because we live in a glass house?
I think you and I are very different in the way we think about houses and building things because I envision like the aesthetics of it, but I never think about the practical aspects or how to build it or how to make it work. Like I just see a photo in my head, oh, it should work because somebody else has already made it work. But I never think like, there needs to be a wall here, so there's structure or balance. Parang that's all you.
Kami for example, pag sinuggest ni Kryz, oh, gusto ko yung may light sa taas, may skylight na glass.
Yeah.
So, ang inisip ko agad, number 1, sobrang init. Number 2, maglilik yan. Number 3, madumi yan, mahirap linisin, etc., etc. So, that's what the compromises of this house has been. Pero, do you think it has been worth it?
Yeah, I love our glass house. I love the fact that no matter where I am in the house, when I look out, it's a view of nature.
Yes.
I don't like it when I'm cooped up inside a room and like I just look at 4 walls. It feels very constricting. So I feel like we did a good job.
Wow! Ano ba ang cons? Kasi ako, nakikita ko ngayon, some of our furnitures, the ones that are exposed to sunlight all the time, are starting to fade or nag-yellow.
Right, like we have chairs in our dining room here. They used to be brown and now they're kind of very light yellowish brown.
Yes.
And our Ogawa massage chair used to be white, now it's cream. So yeah, you have some sacrifices that you need to make, or you have to be, like for example, you need to install blinds para if it's bright in the morning, you can cover your furniture, stuff like that. My major problem with this glass house is that it's so hot sometimes. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do to combat that, like put plants outside, put curtains, or make your glass like treated with UV, which we did. But
wow, alam na niya. Ikaw na lang
Siyempre, alam ko, dito ako nakatira. Siyempre, kausap kita araw-araw.
We'll talk more about how to mitigate heat from a glass house. Pero, more.
When I gave birth and I was nursing, I did not want to wear any clothes because it hurts. Your boobs hurt when you're breastfeeding for the first time. And so, a con is, buti na lang yung mga neighbors namin, karabaw lang. But, you know, if we had neighbors, they could literally see inside me and look at me naked.
Inside you.
Inside me, inside this house, and look at me. You know, so there's just a privacy issue. We're very lucky that we live in a very secluded place, and there's no one here but us and nature and the birds and the bees. But you know, that's a con for other people.
Yeah.
Also, I think a con for living in a glass house is there's less walls, so you can't put furniture by the glass. No?
Exactly. Ang
Like,
galing.
yeah. Or like for our room, when you were thinking about putting a TV, it was kind of, do we put a TV here? It's gonna block our views, right? And from the outside, hala, makikita yung wire, pangit.
Yeah.
So kailangan there's an adjustment that needs to be made.
A big con also of having a glass house is that it's super expensive compared to a normal house to build. Of course, glass lahat eh. And even us, nagtipid kami. Single panel lang yung mga glass natin. in reality, if we were living in a busy city or maingay sa labas, we should have had 2 panels which doubles the cost of everything para may sound insulation. Ngayon, napansin mo, if it's raining and metal sheets yung nasa roof natin, di ba? So when it's raining, maingay sa loob.
Yeah.
Kasi we have all these openings and manipis lang yung mga glass panels natin.
Sounds
So,
like a built-in white noise machine. when it
yes.
rains.
So may mga cozy feel siya, but sometimes when we're watching a movie, medyo irritating siya ng konti because we have to make the volume louder. There's actually a way to mitigate that by putting a layer of
Sound insulation.
roof natin, like asphalt. So
Asphalt, really?
yeah, you cover it asphalt. For example, when it's raining, it hits the metal, tick 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 tick. But if it's hitting an asphalt, hindi siya
Kind of
nagsasound.
absorbs the sound,
Oo.
right.
But yeah, that's one way of mitigating it. But napansin ko rin, it's very, very intensive on our electricity bill.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say next. Like, if you're in the living room, our aircon is like, what, 6 horsepower?
Wow, may mga horsepower terminology na si Madam. Go.
Dude, horsepower is not a difficult terminology.
Yeah,
We
but-
use it all the time.
But dati, like when I say, love 6 horsepower to, I don't know those horsepower things.
No, uy, pataka mo
Ano ba
ka.
talaga?
No, I understand. It's 6 horsepower, which means it has a large capacity and it can really like buga air, like kusog, right? Strong. So because our living area is very open and it's very big, we need 6 power air conditioning units. And sometimes it takes a while for the whole area to be cooled because nga it's all glass. So
Yes.
even if it's cold inside, mainit sa labas, the aircon has to work harder to maintain
Yes.
the temperature in the room.
Yes, that's very, very true. And when you turn off the aircon, mas madali din siyang nawala yung lamig.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember in my old room before we got married, there was just a really small window pane, so my room would be cold all the time. No aircon. If I turn it on at night, the whole day, the next day, parang naka-aircon pa rin yung room.
Yeah.
Kasi walang glass.
So that's why we're actually considering doing an off-grid SKYPOD because we want to be a little bit greener, diba? So may solar panels na kami ngayon pero it's maliit, so we want to make more of it. And speaking of green, I'm very, very proud of today's sponsor, which is First Philippine Holdings Corporation's First Philec. So they're developing the very, very first 100% biodegradable, recyclable transformer, and it's more energy efficient. Alam mo yung transformer, di ba? Ikaw talaga ang comedy sa ano to.
Ignore me.
So,
Bye, guys.
yun, nagre-regulate ng power going to our house, and they've managed to create a better version of that. And it's 100% Filipino-made. It's safer, it has the most efficiency in its class, it's environmentally friendly, and it's set to launch this year. If you're interested to learn more, visit their website. I'll put the links down below. I think sobrang bagay yung tagline ng FPH, or First Philippine Holdings, because it's powered by good. And di ba ngayon parang with all the global climate change and everything, gusto nating tumulong lang ng kahit konti. Right?
That's so true. Especially since we watch all of those nature documentaries. We feel very one with nature now.
So matagal na tayong nakatira dito.
2 years.
I want to ask you if kaya mo bang magiging Slater and kaya mong magbigay sa kanila ng tips of living in a glass house, how to mitigate heat or whatever.
Okay, how to mitigate heat. You put a cover, whether it be plants, whether it be curtains, whether it be the thing that you put. The
Ano?
blue thing.
The ceramic tent.
Yeah.
The ceramic tent actually works. Yung only problem with that is mabilis siyang ma-scratch, no? Napansin mo? Yeah.
Especially with a dog, and there's so many scratch marks at the bottom. And you can't use Windex.
Oh, yeah. So water and
Water
soap lang talaga.
I know, amazing.
Okay, how about designing cross ventilation? Or do you even know?
Yeah, I'm sure you think I don't know, but I know.
All right.
How to
sige.
make the wind flow from one area into another so there's wind inside the house.
Okay.
It's cool without aircon. right? I'm right?
Yeah.
I told you, I'm
So,
amazing.
okay, so how do you design that?
Kailangan may in and may out.
Yes.
So, hindi pwedeng isa lang yung window sa bahay mo. Kailangan dalawa para mag-flow yung hangin. O,
Yeah.
diba? I know.
Yes, kailangan may in and may out. And if possible, may down at up. So kung napansin mo, di ba ito can slide in and open, but it goes up to the louvers at the back because hot air rises, so it can push air out. Actually, With cross ventilation, ang dami namin nilagay dito. May jealousy kami dito, may louvers kami dito sa side, and these panels talaga are open, and meron pang louvers at the back so that everywhere pumapasok. And really, really helps moving cold air. Pag malakas yung hangin, it's really, really cold in our house. Diba? Sakto ba? Okay. Choosing the right windows.
Teacher ka talaga.
Bakit?
You're such a teacher. Like, your
Sakto
vibe is
ba?
such a teacher.
Sakto ba?
Okay, what? Choosing what?
Parang nga akong teacher, no?
You
Parang
really are a
test.
teacher. This is every day. Sometimes he just gives me lectures
Yeah.
because he's bored.
That's why, alam mo na ngayon, yung mga ganyan-ganyan.
So when we were choosing windows for this house, Slater really wanted jealousy windows, and I was
Yeah.
so against it because my idea of jealousy is like the ones in school. Diba na you have to clean every after class, yung feather duster ganyan. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's so old school. I want like big panels that I see on TV.
Yeah.
In like Zed's house, you know. But well, according to him, jealousy is cool because you just do that and then the air can pass. Like it's not blocked. Like if it's like that, when you put it here, then there's 50% of the air na lang. But if it's jealousy, it's all open, right?
Yeah. So, meron siyang mga percentages. Pag jealousy, 100% of the air can pass through kasi it's like fully open. Pag sliding windows like this or sliding doors, half lang kasi, di ba? Half lang yung pumapasok.
I know.
Yeah. Awning windows are the worst, but those for me are the most secure kasi you can lock it in place. So, mga CRs, ganyan, for small vents, that's perfect.
Or our rooms also, kaya mainit. Like in my office, it's so hot, kailangan ng aircon kasi yung awning, ganito lang yung bukas.
Yeah.
You know what's later kasi he's a broken record. He always gives me lectures na paulit-ulit. So, imposible namang hindi talaga siya papasok sa utak ko.
Oh, that's
Teacher
my
talaga
way
siya,
of
teacher.
learning myself.
He likes to bounce ideas off people.
Yep. Okay, so when you're living in a glass house, kung may budget kayo, unlike us, you can have double-paned windows and then ini-inject nila yun ng argon. So that acts as the insulation.
Oh, argon like the one you put in our wine.
Yes. Oo. The problem with that lang is like, it's super expensive. It's probably times 3, times 4 the cost of our ordinary glass windows. Yeah. And meron akong bagong nalaman. Di ba we put yung tint na sinasabi mo? Yung ceramic film. Now, meron na palang incorporated into the glass. So you can clean it, you don't have to take care of it. You can treat it like normal glass. Problem lang is may konting hint siya of blue, just like ours.
Just like ours. That's fine.
And lastly, I think a few more tips for them is have big overhangs. Compared to our master's bedroom, this area, because may malaking overhang siya, stays so much cooler, especially the living area. And of course, insulation ng roofing helps a lot. Yung sa amin is very, very thick PU foam insulation. It's the same insulation na ginagamit sa mga refrigerator, yung mga freezer warehouses. Ito yung ginamit natin dito. Just to be extra sure because I was super scared na pagkatapos ng bahay, you don't want to move in anymore.
Yeah, it's so hot. Yeah. Actually, our house, I feel like could be hotter. Like, okay na talaga siya for a glass
It's
house.
livable.
Yeah, super okay. Kasi nga in the morning when I'm making breakfast, we get morning sun here. It's so bright and hot.
Yeah.
But I'm fine. I'm cooking and it's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
Last question for you. Dati gusto mo black out yung room natin. But since it's glass all the way through, it's very hard to like keep it 100% dark in the mornings. Has it been a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, I still prefer blackout.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ako baliktad.
I still prefer blackout because I'm a very light sleeper. And so, konting ilaw lang, nagigising na ako. Eh ngayon, because I'm a mom, it's very hard for me to sleep through the night. So sometimes I need a little extra like hours in the morning
of
to sleep, but I can't because it's already bright. So I prefer blackout talaga.
Ako feeling ko if naka-blackout tayo, magigising ako mga 10, 11 na.
Oh yeah. Super.
Yeah,
Because this
and-
guy sleeps like there's no tomorrow.
I like waking up with the natural rhythm of the earth.
Yeah,
One with the
right.
universe.
No,
Yeah.
it's bright at what time? 5? You wake up at what? 8?
Oh.
3 hours late, Mr. One with the universe.
One with the 8 hours. Whatever.
You know when he wakes up, when it gets so hot in the room na hindi na kaya ng aircon, that's when you wake up. It's not the light. So in short, blackout na tayo. Blackout will help with the heat also, I think.
I think so, yes. It does, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kryz, for joining me in this little talk.
What's my prize? What's my prize?
You're sweating eh. Ang init kasi.
I know.
Yuck.
Okay.
Yuck.
You have to. You have to. You have to.
Salty.
Never na ako mag-guess sa channel mo. Next time, it's gonna be me showing you guys how to hang things on the wall.
Ah, sige ha. We'll see you guys later. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe.